it's a shocking discovery to realize that actually people that were earning money in 2003 and about 1983, actually their rand could buy a lot more than what it can right now. Yeah. So, and it's interesting that also in the USA it's the same as well. That actually it's almost very difficult to survive on one salary in today's day and age.
Goes, so yeah.
In comparison to 2003, the salary has almost gone up by 200% in terms of inflation increase, but the prices of costs have gone up by almost 1,100%.
So there's no balance there.
There's absolutely no balance. So basically, where somebody used to have money remaining with their middle class income in 2003, today they've got almost 15,000 rand minus in terms of what they could buy back then and what they can buy today. So as you can already see with that, there's absolutely no way that you are able to have the kind of lifestyle that you could buy in 2003 compared to today. I believe in radical transparency in relationships, and radical transparency is really understanding that I cannot be able to, I don't know how to help you if you don't tell me where you need help. So if you are needing financial help as my partner, if you don't say anything about that and just assume that traditionally, let's say for example, a typical example would be a man and a woman, where traditionally a man is the one that is expected to come to the show when it comes to the money on the table. But the reality is that feminism has fought for equality in the workplace, and the reality is that you and I, if my wife and I are probably going to be fighting for the same job, and the likelihood is that she's going to get that job and I might not get that job. So how then do you balance that if the traditional expectation is that I as a man would bring in the money, and then you as a woman, yours is just to submit and to expect money from me? So if we're transparent about the realities that we are currently facing, and that is that both couples, both partners in the relationship are facing similar challenges when it comes to finances, when it comes to career, in terms of time availability for domestic things in the home, time availability in terms of the kids, but also in terms of the career. So if both of us leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, we come back at 5 o'clock in the evening, we have to have some kind of an agreement as far as domestically what needs to happen in the home. Similarly, as well, as far as the finances are concerned, it's very important that we have a radical transparency so that I don't take on too much of a burden financially if I'm not able to carry it, especially given the fact that I've just explained now, and the fact that the price of eggs is the price of eggs, and the price of food is the price of fuel. You know what I mean? And the thing is that if we want to then be able to win, it's far better than to partner up on those realities. And partnership is not about 50-50. It's not about equality even necessarily in the relationship, as far as chores and things like that. But it is about what works. Where do you lack? How can I assist? Do I have the means and the capacity to assist you? Where do I lack? How can you assist? Do you have the means and capacity to assist me? And if I do need help, do I have the humility then to open myself up to getting that help from you? Or do I still hold some kind of traditional ideas that make it harder for me to come and tell you where I need help? Or we would say, well, why should I tell him that I need assistance financially? He should sort of figure it out. And then at the same time, also the man would be like, well, why should I tell her? Why should I assist her domestically? She must tell me what she needs. The fact is that I have eyes, you have eyes. But also at the same time, most importantly, we can communicate. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with discussing the things that we would love to see happen that'll help us in the relationship.
It all centers on communication, right? Radical honesty also then becomes very important.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, honesty is the way to go. The thing is that when you're not honest, you're cheating yourself out of the potential of the relationship. Because every one of us, we make decisions based on the information that we've got on the table. So if some information has been withheld from the table of discussion, then it means that I don't have sufficient information to to make a well-informed, high-quality decision that'll benefit our relationship. And the reality is, I don't know what my wife is thinking. She doesn't always know what I'm thinking, and I may assume and think that I know what the other person is thinking. But the thing is that we all know what assumptions actually end up doing. For me, my deepest desire is that, especially for black couples, because of given the history of our country and how most of us grew up in environments where our parents are separated, and quite a lot of us are the first generation couples where both the mother and the father are present in the home, and many of us actually don't have an example to look back to when we think back in our history on how this thing of being together in this manner, in these type of dynamics and challenges, how does that really work? Unfortunately, many of us borrow a lot from the USA, from the television, and from what's going on in the social media right now in terms of what works and what doesn't. And I don't believe that there is enough account of people who look like us, who are facing similar challenges like the ones that we are currently facing, where we are having to start something that we don't necessarily know what it looks like. We know what we wanted as kids, we know what we lacked with the absence of parents and stuff like that. But do I fully understand what it means to be a fully 100% present father, and also 100% present husband, and also be transparent and honest to my wife about my financial struggles? I find that even in situations where, let's say that a man is transparent, but the woman sometimes is not ready for that because she doesn't really know what to do with a man that is able to articulate their struggles and say, I need assistance in this way. But the things that's necessary, though. It's important to seek out a third-party intervention, therapy, counseling, somebody that is an experienced person, even if it's what I call accountability couples. I believe in accountability couples. I believe in couples where my wife will be comfortable with a woman and I'll be comfortable with the man. And the thing is that either one of them can call us out on our nonsense. A big part of that is because we struggle to communicate. And so I'd say the first thing that you also got to do is learn how to communicate. Learn how to use your words to express your frustrations, as opposed to using, whether it's a violent outburst, banging of doors, whether it be the emotional stonewalling, being cold, and whether it be the long silent treatment. I mean, all of those things, they hurt the relationship, and the more of them that occur frequently, there's a point where you start feeling like you've been betrayed by your partner. Because let's say, for example, you're somebody who is a very good communicator and the other person is not, and they are normally a silent treater. The more that I seek out to try to reach out to you, the more you shut me down. At some point I feel like, you know what, you're treating me as an enemy. And unfortunately then that begins to change the way that I view you now, and in terms of how I think you view me. And even if we resolve that, let's say that you're done with the silent treatment, now you want us to get back together. Unfortunately, it's gone on too long, and there's a line that has been crossed over there, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to heal from what I perceive as a painful thing, especially if I'm a communicator. Or you don't know how to heal from the fact that I've been pestering you when you are my wife, for example. She doesn't know how to deal with the fact that I was pestering her, trying to get to a conversation. She was feeling all irritated and felt like I was all over her place, and now we don't even know how to communicate. And so learn to communicate, seek a third-party intervention. I constantly put myself in a situation where my wife and I get either some kind of counseling. As a matter of fact, we even have our own formal counseling. And we don't do counseling because there are problems. We actually always do counseling to make sure that we are on the same page and understanding that we don't communicate the same way. And I can't just assume, we've known each other for so long, I can't know what she wants, what she doesn't want. But sometimes the process of growth is so complicated. I don't know how I'm growing. I don't know who I'm becoming in the process. I don't know the dynamics in the relationships that are affecting me as a person, whether it be at work, the pressures that are there, whether it be there's a child that just come into the relationship now, whether it be learn how to be a child, whether it be the promotion that has just happened, and now the financial dynamics that have changed in the relationship, but which means also the power dynamics have changed in the relationship. How do I navigate those? How do we facilitate those? And then getting somebody that's a professional that is proficient in handling those type of problems is crucial to help to build a healthy relationship.
How do we actually help these people navigate the new year?
The first thing I'm going to say is this: good relationships are possible. They're happening every day. I believe in what I call relationship mentorship. Even if you're not married, or even if you're not in a serious relationship, do you have somebody that has got a good relationship within your sphere of influence, within your circle? What conversations do you have with that person? If you don't have someone like that, you need to go and seek that out. If you are looking for somebody to spend the rest of your life with, you need to go to a place where somebody who is likely to be compatible to you are. I mentioned this a lot with the people that I mentor when they tell me this. I'm like, you know what? First of all, if you're a highly driven person, a career person that is doing a lot of inner work and emotional intelligence, communication development, conflict resolution, and you understand that you are a broken person that needs to heal before you bring anybody into anywhere near your heart, go to the places where you're likely to find somebody who has a similar approach. Where is that? Normally with your events, perhaps maybe at the church, perhaps at some kind of a gathering, whether it be you're attending, you're serving at various seminars if you're in a part of a church, or maybe if you see those type of events going on. Go to those places because you're likely to find somebody that has a similar mindset as you, similar values as you, similar desires as you. But unfortunately, we don't think about that. And then I'm thinking, we just meet the person thinking maybe it might work, might not work out. If that person doesn't have a way of thinking that's similar to yours, more likely you're going to have separate ways. Added to that, of course, the issues of personality. Added to that, I say all the time, if you're going to get into a relationship and you happen to be somebody who's very agreeable, who easily doesn't know how to say no, don't be very careful that you don't get drawn to somebody who's very strong-willed and that doesn't know how to be sensitive and not take advantage of your heart. If you're somebody that is, that enjoys communicating and does not enjoy, for example, silent treatment, you want to see whether the person, how they handle conflict when they're angry. You want to know what they do when they are confused, when they're excited. Let's say, for example, if somebody is very conservative with monies, and then this person, whenever they've got money, man, is like party time, let's go get things going on. You like the way they look, you like the way they sound, but now when you're going to be having financial discussions, there's going to be a problem because they're going to be wanting to go buy a Mercedes-Benz C-Class brand new one, and then you're going to be thinking, but we don't need that car, we need a smaller car.
You want to invest, so you're not aligned.
Not aligned. So it's important that you be very clear in terms of your values. What are they? Before you start talking about, I want somebody 6 figures, whatever, tall and whatever, what are the values? What are your belief systems? What kind of partner do you prefer as far as communication, as far as intimacy is concerned, as far as even social life is concerned? Do you want somebody who's got a lot of friends or doesn't have a lot of friends? Do you want somebody who enjoys to be by themselves and somebody who does not? Because ultimately, those massive differences are the ones that are going to put a wedge between you and your partner in the future.
So you need to actually approach it in a way that you would look out for yourself and you'd also be honest about what you want.
There are practicalities of the relationship which can make friendship difficult. And if you don't become systematic about those problems, it's going to be very difficult for you to enjoy each other and bring in the intimacy of friendship. And for that to happen, you almost don't have to. You don't want to talk about it from being friends, but you want to talk about it almost like negotiators on the table and say, go back to the other caller, compatibility. Am I compatible? Is my vibrant nature compatible to your calm nature? Is my aggressive, go and get it nature compatible with your passive, I take things as they come nature? If there is no compatibility, it's going to be hard for us to come to the issue of friendship. If there is no discussion about what works and what doesn't, it's going to be hard for us to see each other as brothers and sisters. There are 3 things that I always say. Whenever you're in a relationship, remember, first of all, why you got attracted to the person in the first place. In other words, who they are outside of you. In other words, when you come and be with them, you're not going to make them something that they're not already. They were beautiful out before you. They were smart before you. They were a human being before you came into the picture. So don't remember that. Don't come in there and start ruining things for the person. All of a sudden, I made you. No, you didn't make me. I was like this before you came into the picture. Let's not get that wrong. Secondly, remember what you're trying to build together. That's the second thing. And then the third thing, remember, like you as a person, at the end of the day, what is it that you want from the relationship? Who the person is, what are you building together, what do you want? There's got to be compatibility with that. If I'm not attracted to you, it becomes very difficult for me to like you as a person, to get excited about you as a person. If I don't remember what we're building, it's very possible for me to become selfish and to only want to look for what I want and care absolutely not care about what you want, right? Because then I'm sacrificing the relationship for me.
Yeah.
If I forget what I want, then I give the relationship priority and give you priority, and I forget and lose myself in the process, and then I'm going to be resentful in the future because I have I sacrificed everything for you, and then this is what you're doing for me in return. You know what I mean? So there's always got to be that continuous thing. What do I want from the relationship? Does it work for what we're building together, and does it work for who the person is outside of me? And if you don't consider those types of factors, then you're going to be saying, I'm sorry for the other gentleman, but you're going to be calling people bossy.
Yeah,
that's their personality. What bully? I mean, if you know that you can't handle somebody that brings in the fire, so then don't go deal with them, because then you're going to start miscategorizing their personality and then saying negative things about them, because they can turn around and say about you are lazy and then you are passive.
Yeah, we can flip it.
We can flip the coin. Yeah. Just because you're the recipient, you don't have the capacity to handle the other person's personality the way it comes across. You have no right now to judge that as a negative thing. That's why you gotta know what you want as a person. Can you handle somebody that asks questions and wants clarity when you work on you work on short sentences? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that works on short sentences, on long conversations, can you handle somebody that is more non-verbal in the engagement? So compatibility is crucial.
Yeah, it really is crucial. But for Jabu's sake and for time, because we're out of time totally, would you say that the star signs would tend to be a deal breaker?
I think the bottom line is about compatibility again. I don't know anything about signs or anything like that, but what I agree in terms of the principle is this: it's very difficult to make things work where there are extreme opposites. The opposites, I don't believe that they attract so much, but more like what you're saying, that opposites actually balance each other.
Yeah.
I am a very talkative person. My wife is not. Most of the time, when I get too wordy, she just gives me the ones that I like, dude, just bring it down a little bit. Or if we are having a conversation and she's not really bringing her voice onto the table, I'll give her that thing and say, say something type of thing. So then I draw her out of her hole, and then she's able to say what she needs to say. So compatibility of beliefs, whether it be a Christian versus a Muslim or Christian or non-Christian, compatibility is crucial. Whether it be different backgrounds where there are such a contrasting way of looking and approaching life. For example, let me give a simple example in South Africa. There's this issue of being controversial a little bit here about the old issue of accents, right? The way that people speak English and whatever. Some people tend to be more traditional, expect you to speak a certain way. If you know that somebody who speaks like that irritates you, why are you going out with them? Because then you're going to be constantly trying to bring them down and say, calm down.
Yeah.
Or if the other person likes finer things in life, and you happen to be a very simple person in terms of your approach, and then they give you something amazing, they buy you this amazing gift, and then because you're not into the colorful things, opulence and all of that, you have a very reserved response, and then they get upset because they feel like that you're not being appreciative, and they start calling in like, but why? I bought you an expensive thing you don't want. But you think, but I don't want that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So compatibility for me is a crucial factor, and then looking at different points in the factors of compatibility is crucial.
Sure. It's what I've picked up as well is that you've got your work cut out for you, so you have to put in the work, right? To ensure that it works for you as well. But Jabu, thank you for your time.
It was my pleasure, man. Thank you so much. And for everybody out there, again, good relationships are possible, and it is your relationship. You determine the rules. Try to the best of our ability to continue engaging on those and not feel under pressure to emulate anybody else's idea of what a relationship should be.
Awesome. This is how we come to an end of this conversation with Jabu.